All right. Hello. Welcome. Happy Monday. It is the beginning of another week, and hopefully we can get some work done today. I see that in the chat we were talking about temperature, and it is definitely summertime, and this is that's an extreme. Isn't this early in the year for it to hit that degree where you are? That's kind of ridiculous. I mean, right now it's sitting at 89. We've already had a couple of days that have screamed past 90, but we have not gotten up to anything near this. So I'm hoping it doesn't happen for Georgia, but that's a terrible temperature. So anyway, hello, how are you? I am doing okay. I still feel like I'm losing a bit of my motivation to write for this paranormal romance in particular. I still love the Chimera Moon world building, and I still am enjoying the other characters. I'm just a little stuck as to the current couple and how they should be progressing. So I'm taking some time to kind of step away and work on some other things. And by other things today, I mean I'm going to continue reading The Anatomy of Prose and doing some of the exercises in there, as well as going back in and assuring that my characters have bodily functions. So you will notice that this week all of the thumbnails are food related because characters need to eat. Characters need to get hungry for whatever it is that they sustain themselves with. You know, if you have vampires, they're not necessarily going to eat food. Things like that. Do they get hot? Do they sweat? Like in 115 degree temperatures, do they sweat? You know, all the actual bodily function things. So I'm going to go back in and make sure I have some added bits of that to both Project Gray and to this Chimera Moon story. So I'm going to be switching documents a whole lot. And then when I finally feel like I'm either frustrated enough or I've done enough, then I will switch to The Anatomy of Prose and the exercises in there. So that's kind of the that's the thing. That's what I'm going to be doing. Let me know what you're going to be working on today. The antelope spirit, life is speeding up. Let me get my finger out of his nose. That's the spirit for today. And yesterday was the Black Panther, take back your power or reclaim your power. So now that you have made decisions on how you are going to do that, things are going to start moving forward. That's kind of what that says. And then you also have the Knight of Swords, and the Knights are always cards of action. And then Swords is the suite of communication, as well as, in some ways, intellect of a sort, having to do with communication usually. But anyway, so those are your two cards today. Both are kind of action oriented. So if you have been dawdling, then perhaps today is a day to take a step forward and do whatever it is that you have been dawdling doing. So Rosalind says first. And Megan says, hello, welcome. And Laura is on lunch, but hello, welcome. And Charlie says, hey, welcome. So yeah, 98 degrees is hot, very hot. And expect it to reach 115 either today or tomorrow. That's a lot. That's a lot. So Kai says, hey, I finally feel ready to write again. Hooray! How has everybody been? Some of us have been very productive, and some of us have been middling productive or not productive at all on certain days. So Laura says 69 degrees Fahrenheit where you are right now. That's nice. Very nice. Miriam says, hello everyone, and getting a drink while the stream starts up. Excellent. Yes, we want to stay hydrated. Elizabeth says, hello, everyone. Watched the half of it on Netflix yesterday. Highly recommend. You are working on a speech for your class that is graduating on Thursday. Oh, yay! And speaking of recommendations, we realized after you went to watch the movie that several of us agreed on Tremors as sort of romantic comedy, but more of like just comedy. With I don't know, it's a mishmash of things, but it's very good, and apparently it is on Netflix. So if you want to watch Tremors, please do. It's hilarious. It's got Kevin Bacon. It's wonderful. Laura says, yay for graduation. Indeed. Elizabeth says, Megan, meanwhile in Norway, it's currently 57 degrees Fahrenheit. Currently curled up with a blanket and tea. Where did the summer go? That is a drastic difference between the two locations. My Atlantic teacher life. Hello. Did you get finished with your 6 remaining reports? And are you finally free? Elizabeth says, well, dang. My main character has not gone to the bathroom in a week. Yeah, so like bathrooms, showers, eating, bleeding if they have a wound, coughing, yawning. As Maggie pointed out, she has some yawning scenes. So yeah, like all of the things that bodies actually do need to happen. So Morgan, hello. You're hopping around streams today, trying to finish a report for grad school. Excellent. You have 2 meetings at 2 o'clock, but you're trying to keep writing until then and then afterwards. Excellent. Well, we do have some sprints lined up, so hopefully we can help with that. Kai says, fair enough. Yes, our high, medium, and low productivity levels vary on the day. So CB says currently 60 degrees where you are. And you'll be working on Project Spider. Excellent. Yes, highly recommend Tremors. It's quite fun. I think I showed the cover at one point in the other room, but yeah. My Atlantic teacher life is working on outlining your Project Purple short story series. Oh, yay! So I'm taking it that you are free. Free. CB says our soccer team lost 2-0. Oh, no! So sad. They will have to do better next time. All right. Let's get to writing. I do have Laura's ocean waves timer pulled up. It does have ambient noise. So let me know if you would like to have silence as we normally do, or the ambient sound. So silence or sound. Which would you prefer? And Michelle says it's waves sound. So it normally sounds like this. Let me get back to where it was. Close enough. So, okay, so we have ambient and then waves. Well, Megan, that was you twice. So I need a secondary. Okay, so Elizabeth says I would prefer without. Morgan says nice, waves is fine. Okay, so we have 2, 3 for the waves. Okay, so I will keep the sound on, and that will also let us have a better idea of when the timer goes up. So, okay. And Michelle is starting a 20K novella today. It needs to be done in 10 days. Nice. Excellent. That seems doable. I hope it is. So, all right. So, for your reminders, 1, if you've already been working this morning, go ahead and save your document. If not, go ahead and pull it up. 2, make sure you have something to hydrate with. I have water. 3, make sure that you straighten your spine and roll your shoulders back for a posture check. Release some of that tension in your back. And 4, make sure that if you need a break, take a break. Those are your reminders. We can now get started with a 15-minute warm-up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! All right, how are you? Did a little bit of things in my bullet journal, and then I was working on some of my morning pages that I hadn't finished yet. And then I got out my label maker and like actually put morning pages on the journal, so that I have specifically designated it as that. Yeah, that's what I did. Not a whole lot, but some. So don't forget to save. Don't forget to hydrate. All right. How did we do? I saw that several people were just slightly distracted by the wave images. It took me a minute to realize that you've just been staring at the waves. Oh no. Maggie had a bit of a lie-in this morning. Woke up at 11:13 your time this morning. That is quite late for you, isn't it? Are you feeling okay, or did you just have kind of like a rough night and needed to sleep in a little bit more? CB got 108 new words. Excellent. Megan watched some videos about the progression of Alzheimer's disease. Ooh, interesting. Are you looking into this for your stories, or are you looking into it to just do some more research about the new scientific discovery, I guess? I think there is I can't remember if they're calling it a treatment or a medicine that is the doctor who has announced it says that it is supposedly treating the stuff that's going on in the brain rather than prevention rather than slowing the progression or slowing the symptoms. I have not done enough research about it to know, but I know that is something that I am likely going to have to look into because dementia and Alzheimer's runs in the family. So gotta do some more research on that. Fun stuff. Miriam says, that was a good warm-up. You got some ideas going well for you. Yay! You're going to pop some food in the air fryer to cook during the next sprint. Yes. Hooray, taking care of yourself as you are writing is an excellent plan. Morgan got an amazing 377 words. Excellent. And Christina got about 30-ish words. Also good. And Elizabeth says, I am starting the first draft of this speech by jotting down notes on all of your students and what do you want to say to them individually. At the end, you will address the whole class. Ah, okay. So this is a graduation speech specifically for your class, not necessarily like you have to stand up in front of the whole school and do this? Or is this even going out like in person, or do you have to film yourself doing this or say it on a Zoom call? I don't know how you would do this, presumably, but my Atlantic Teacher Life says, I got all 5 of my characters' physical appearances done. Hooray! That's awesome. That is awesome. I sometimes forget to do that first, and I just start writing. And then I'm like, what color are their eyes again? What color are their hair? What side is their scar on? Do they have a scar? So I had a feline familiar of one of the deities for my YA fantasy, and it was supposed to be in some ways an homage to Tamara Pierce's Alana series, the Lioness series, where you have the feline familiar that is also a familiar of the divine figure. But I didn't want to do them exactly the same, and so I think I only had initially I had the cat's eyes be the same color, not as Alana's, but just like 2 eyes of the same color. And then later, like 400 pages later, I had heterochromatic eyes, and I was like, wait, which one did I want? So yeah, you got to keep that straight. Megan says, it's for your story. I've heard about that treatment. It's caused a lot of drama in the medicine world. It has, hasn't it? It definitely has. It's amazing what creates dramas, and it's so weird. Oh well, everybody has opinions. Kai says, got a couple of pages of notes sorted. Excellent. That will help. So Elizabeth says, yes, specifically to your one class that you have a special responsibility for. You don't know how you do it in the US, but each class has 2 teachers that are assigned specifically for that group of students. Gotcha. I think it depends on the level of school. So like elementary and middle schools often have teams of teachers. And so this will run from like either 2 to 4 teachers for the basic classes. But then once you go to high school, it's a whole different ballgame. And so the high school graduations that I have attended, the seniors nominate which teacher they want to read the names as the kids cross the stage. And then they also nominate so the teacher or staff member, because one year it was the attendance lady. She's super, super nice. So essentially the student's favorite person, like in general, like the general consensus of who is the senior's favorite who gets to read the names out. And then the principal will do a speech. Some figures from across the community, usually those who are giving some sort of scholarship, or who have donated a lot of money to the school and one of their programs, will also be doing speeches. But in general, the regular teachers do not give a speech at graduation for high school. Most of us are like, yay, can we go home now? It's already it's been so long. Can we, before it rains, before I get eaten alive by mosquitoes? Yeah. Graduation for the high school is kind of a different thing, at least the ones that I've been to. So Elizabeth says, so you talk to them specifically. Normally it would be the whole thing with the parents and the other graduating classes, but COVID. Yeah, gotcha. You will say your school is under 300 students, so you are a small school. Yeah, 300 students would be like one graduating class, and that's a small graduating class. At least that's not the case at every high school, but the high schools have been increasing in size, shall we say, as the smaller ones get shut down and the bigger ones get bigger. That's what happens. So Maggie says, I had to go through and change 2 characters' eye colors, an uncle and a nephew, so they would have the eye color of the late family patriarch, because you realized no one had his eye color. Yeah. It's good to keep notes on physical appearances for sure. Katja says, finishing your final essay of high school today. Hooray! Hooray! That's awesome. It's almost done. You just need the final touches for editing. Oh, you're so close. You've never heard of teachers talking graduations. Yeah, it doesn't doesn't do a whole lot. Yeah. Holy moly. Yeah, exactly. That was the high school that I attended. Each class was about 400. The seniors, it kind of waffled. They initially, when it started, was about 400, and then it would drop because of dropouts and withdrawals and whatnot, and those who did not graduate. So I think it dropped to about 350, somewhere between 325 and 350. So yeah, so they're large. They're very large. Your primary school had 108 students on roll when you left in 1994. You probably have about 150 students per graduating class. Yeah. I mean, it's just, it depends on where you live. It really does. But in suburbia, I guess, the high schools have gotten much, much larger. Just extremely large. So, and when I was attending middle and high school, we had so many like outdoor trailer classrooms where they would just like bring in a mobile trailer, and that would be the teacher's classroom. We had 1 year, I think we had about 40 of those, and it took them until I think close to 8 years after I graduated high school for them to actually renovate the school and install 2 additional wings. Yeah. So Elizabeth says, hello, welcome. Kasha lives in a town with a population of 5,900. Yeah, this is a pretty small town, but it's not small as some that I've heard of. So Charlie says, I'm working on characters for the Mysterious Hallows series. I love this name. I really do. And you have a sense of who the characters are, so you are noting them and creating their profile pictures in Artbreeder. Excellent. So much fun. Stacy says, finally got my computer up and running. Excellent. There's a great storm going on. Oh my. 40 portals. Yeah. And that was the one time that I was a good child. I was terrified of breaking the rules. The one time that I got detention was because I had to use the restroom, which are all in the main building. Like there were no toilet portables. And so I used the restroom, and then I was on the steps of the trailer of the portable classroom, and the bell rang, and my teacher would not let me in. And I was also with my friend who she had stayed with me while I went to the restroom, and it was her birthday, and she got detention too. I was so mad. So mad. My one detention story. Stacy says, my high school was over the fire limit. Yeah. And about 7 years ago, they merged 2 high schools in your district because of declining numbers. Yeah. Schools are weird. Morgan says, got to go prep for your meetings. Think you'll be done before you get back. Thanks for the sprint. Thank you for joining us, and hope you have fun with your meetings. And Mallory is here. Hello! Your internet finally decided to work today, so yay! Hooray! Now you don't have to be using your data, which is amazing. All kinds of fun. All right, let's go ahead and do another sprint. And this one we will go ahead and do a 25-minute. And I think we will go over to HK's new timer with the sand dunes. Oops. No, what are you doing? There we go. I found it. Sorry, that was weird. All right. So share the screen, make it big. All right. So don't forget to save your document. Make sure that you are hydrating. Make sure that you straighten your spine and roll your shoulders back for a posture check. And make sure that if you need a break, take a break. Those are your reminders, and we can now get started with a 25-minute Pomodoro sprint. And don't forget, this sprint is the Shameless Self-Promo Sprint. So if you have something that you would like to promote, your social media, your website, your blog, your Amazon page, your YouTube channel, your videos, etc., anything that you would like to promote, please do so. Could even be your pet's Instagram if you want. Make sure that you share that in the chat. Just remember that if you do not have the blue wrench of power, you will not be able to post direct links, so you may have to spell out dot in the .com. All right, those are your reminders. We can now get started with 25 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Go! All right, that was the second sprint. How did we do? Sorry for clearing my throat with the mic on. Don't forget that that was the second sprint, so if you have something that you would like to promote, please feel free to. Dee-dum-dee-dum. All right. So there were a couple of sort of updates to the high school sizes. And Maggie says, my high school was so big, you had 1,183 people in your graduating class. That is humongous, which is funny because your eldest child had 8 in her class and the middle had 14, which is tiny. So a very big difference there. All right, so Megan, as a self-promo, has started the AuthorTube chronic illness and disability tag, and the tags are starting to roll in. So here is the playlist, which you will have lots to watch, which is awesome. And Maggie says your old high school now has 12,000 students on something that feels like a college campus. You were jealous when you heard that. In your day, they had 5,000 of you cramped into 2 buildings. Yeah, that would feel cramped, real cramped. CB had 856 students when you started and 903 when you left. You had an awful night's sleep, so you're going to take a nap. All right, have fun. Have a good nap. I hope you wake rested. So Mallory says, you worked on plugging your scenes into Plotter so that you can start draft 1 this weekend. Hooray! That would be awesome. Elizabeth says, oh yeah, no live stream for you this Thursday since graduation and party with the colleagues. Difficult to say. Maggie caught up on social media, opened a document, and took your meds, got coffee, and ate cake. Sounds productive. And Elizabeth says, more and more notes written down. Hooray! That's awesome. Fun times. All right. We apparently are not very chatty today, which is very different from yesterday. So I say that and then 3 more comments pop up. Elizabeth says, you edited about 18 pages. Nice. That's nice. Editing always takes me forever. So whenever somebody's like, I edited a whole chapter, I edited 18 pages. It's very nice. Very, very nice. Charlie says, I started choosing the hallows involved in the stories. Nice. Megan says, I got toast and watched more Alzheimer's videos. Excellent. Hooray. All right. And yeah, there were lots of chat yesterday, which I don't mind because it doesn't happen like all that frequently. So totally in productivity mode today. Yes, indeed. All right, let's go ahead and we will swap to another sprint. And we will continue the productivity mode. Oh yeah, I finished my handwriting and I'm now to adding a little bits of bodily functions for my characters. And then I'll probably finish this sprint, and then I will move on to reading some of the anatomy of prose. So I might only do that for the last sprint, I guess, because this is the 3rd sprint already. All right. Stacy is also working on productivity. You are moving things from your laptop and hard drive. Yeah, today you're working on music. Music takes forever because you usually have a lot of it. You now need to find 1,500 songs in iTunes on the hard drive. Yeah. Exactly. All right. Don't forget to save. Don't forget to hydrate. Make sure that you straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back for a posture check, and make sure that if you need a break, take a break. Those are your reminders. We can now get started. 25 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Alrighty. I think I'm about done adding bodily functions for now, because I don't want to be like too overbearing with it. Sometimes all it needs is like a reference, a quick reference, and sometimes more is fine if the situation calls for it. But I think for right now, I am done adding characters' bodily functions for the scenes that I already have that I can think of at the moment. So I'm going to be switching over to, for the last sprint, to read a little bit more in the Anatomy of Prose and working on some of the exercises that are at the bottom of the chapter, because I'm partway through a chapter. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So I feel like even though I haven't concentrated on one particular thing for a long period of time today, I've gotten several different things done that I wanted to. So also like this hair that is just like kind of out there. Oh, I guess it's from the back of my hair clip or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's just kind of sticking out. Wave it in the breeze from the overhead ceiling fan. So don't mind me as I'm distracted by that. So Allie popped in. Hello. And Kai and Stacy have been involved in moving lots of their documents and music and things from computer to computer. Make sure you have it backed up. Make sure it's like safe. So don't forget to save. And Maggie got 206 words that time. Excellent. And Kai says, start making a spreadsheet for your solar system that you are way too excited about. Ooh, what exactly? So is this a solar system that you're building for a story? So you're having to like figure out how far they are from each other and like how often they go around the central star or stars and all that kind of stuff. Is that what you're figuring out? Like when the planets can be aligned, etc., etc. Is that what you're figuring out? I've never actually tried to do that, and that sounds like it could be fun. Elizabeth says 4 more students to write notes on, and then that has to marinate in the brain until tomorrow. Yep, definitely give yourself time to think on it. Elizabeth says 24 more pages edited. That one. That is amazing. You are on a roll. That's just like a humongous number. So Mallory says almost finished with chapter 2's scenes. Excellent. Allie has been working on adding a few more listings to the Etsy shop. Awesome. Is your Etsy shop also under the name Allie Deathridge? Do let us know if it's something else. Charlie says, the hubby and I discussed possible vacation plans and who some people mishear the chorus of Alanis Morissette's You Ought to Know as, and this cross-eyed bear that you gave me. I guess that is a possible mishearing. Yeah. So Kai wants to know what Allie sells on Etsy. Ellie Vera is here. Hello. How are you? How is your video coming? Are you progressing? Is it going well? I hope it's going well. Stacy says, I refound almost 100 songs. Only a little over 1,400 more to refind. Yes, indeed. Speaking of which, I need to make sure my iTunes is up to date on this laptop, because that's how I got in trouble with the last laptop. I said don't update right now far too many times, and then it could not update to the newest for whatever reason. And so there are songs and albums that I purchased, and then I deleted like most of the songs from the album from my phone, and now it can't find them. So I have wasted money, essentially, because it doesn't recognize that I purchased them. So don't do that. Make sure you update your iTunes regularly. Allie says, I sell digital backgrounds I made for my paintings. And it is under Allie Deathridge Art. I hope I'm saying your last name correctly. Kai says, yes, I've been reading a lot of astronomy books to help you out because you're terrible at maths and science, but you're still really interested in space. Excellent. So much fun. Although I'm trying to think to some of my favorite like sci-fi authors, and they skirt around some of these issues. Like a lot of times they will categorize like either the sun or the planet that they are searching to possibly colonize and make a base out of. They will categorize it as like an M5 or an M4, and those like mean different things, and whether or not those are actually like the correct categorizations or if the author just like made those categorizations up, I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, I don't know. So I mean, writing does give you a lot of freedom. So, can we do another small sprint? Yes, we can. Absolutely. I know it's terrible. Yes, you quit paying for the Minionettes iTunes because you got tired of rebuying things. Yeah, and so I have like a really crappy old phone that they're gonna stop supporting next February, so I've got to get a new phone. I hate buying new phones. That's why I like delay it for forever. But so I would like occasionally delete things that I wasn't listening to in favor of like putting other things on. But because then I had deleted it from my phone and my iTunes like wasn't up to date, like it didn't recognize it, you know? So, all right, let's do one more sprint. And we'll go ahead and do a 15. And that way, we will take us to the top of the hour, and we'll chat for like a few minutes, and so that'll take us just over the hour, but that's okay. Am I sharing? No, I'm not. Share. All right, 15 minutes. Don't forget to save. Don't forget to hydrate. Make sure that you do a posture check. Straighten your spine. Roll your shoulders back. And make sure that if you need a break, take a break. All right, 15 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alrighty, that was the end of the 4th sprint. How we doing? Did you feel like you got something accomplished in the last 2 hours? I hope you did. I feel like I got, like I said, several bits and pieces done of different things. So even if I didn't like spend a huge amount of time on one thing today, I feel like I got several things accomplished. So, or at least worked on. So yay. Yeah, so don't forget to save. Make sure you save. And if you haven't had a sip of whatever you were hydrating with, make sure you do that. So the science fiction author that I was thinking about, that I mentioned with the categorizing of different planets, was from Anne McCaffrey's Tower and Hive series, which is a part of her I don't even the site, the FT&T, the not a good description. Come on, brain. It is a part of her psychic, but also like in space type of things. So the very first one is actually a short story. It's a collection of her other ones. And then you have the Rowan, Damia, Lion's Pride, and then I think you have Pegasus in Space is kind of, I think, along between 2 and 3, and then Tower and the Hive, and then some of the other ones as well. They're really good. They are a combination of like telekinesis powers, as well as like aliens and shipping things through telekinesis from planet to planet, or starship to starship, that kind of stuff. So it's really quite fascinating. And of course, there are good aliens and bad aliens. It's a wonderful, wonderful series, and if you have not checked it out, I recommend it. But she was the one that I was thinking of with the different categorizations of planets, because they do go in search of additional planets as well. Yes, Prime series. Thank you. Yes. I knew that somebody else would know too, and I'm like, what am I thinking of? But yes, so it's a very good series. I recommend it highly. So you keep meaning to get around to reading Anne McCaffrey. Your old writing teacher kept recommending her. Yeah, I really find a lot of her writing fascinating. That entire shelf is all Anne McCaffrey. Like the hardbacks, like paperbacks crammed up here, paperbacks, more smaller reading club sized hardbacks as well. So, and that's like not even all of her books. Those are just the ones that I reread quite frequently. So yeah. So Leah, oh no. Well, I can give you Devin's playlist because we're about done. But let me put in Devin's playlist. But welcome. We're glad to see you. So Mallory says, woohoo, finished chapter 2 scenes. Hey, and moving on to chapter 3. That's exciting. That's exciting. It's a very productive Monday. Yeah, lots of little things getting done. Everybody else was in productivity mode, getting lots of things done. So I'm super excited for all of us. So yay. Elizabeth says, got 4 more done. Yay. But you also found 3 that you forgot in the first round. That's why you do it early. Yes, another sprint and it will be done for the day. Excellent. I spent that sprint doing a COVID home test, mainly for precaution as you work with a new student in the lab. Gotcha. I saw at Walmart a test for the COVID. Is antigens the right word? But I don't know like how reliable that is. It's the first I've seen of one, so I don't know if that's, and that would just be like, did you have it? And since I've been vaccinated, I don't know if it would pick up on the vaccine, rather than like whether or not we actually had it. So I don't know if that's even worth trying. I'll have to do some more research. Stacy says, I might have found an easier way to re-find these songs, or at least if it is a full CD. One way to find out. You've got about 50 down from your list. Excellent. I found that mine, if I went into my computer, let's see if I can find this. So if I open up the little thing that's on the bottom, and it will either be in your C drive, or if you have a split drive, it would be in your D drive. And I say split because some of the gaming computers have the solid state drive versus the standard spinning disk hard drive, and so they split them like that, and the solid state becomes the C drive. So if you look in my computer and then in one of your, it will usually be your C drive. The music, it will be in a music folder, just like the pictures folder, but it will be under music, and then it's like within several subfolders in there is where I have found most of my music. But Beth, yes, the Tower and the Hive is awesome. So I love both the Tower and the Hive, but I also, the brain ships are really cool too. But I think my favorite of the brain ship, other than the first one that she did solo, I think my favorite is the one that she did with Mercedes Lackey. And because of that collaboration, I started noticing Mercedes Lackey's name. And then when Mercedes Lackey came out with Joust, I was done. Like, that's my favorite. I'm just like, yes, please, dragons all the way. So because of that combination, I have found that's just like, I have Anne McCaffrey, I have Mercedes Lackey. Yes, please, both of those. I will take anything they write and read it. So, so along with several other authors, but those two in particular. So if you have not read the Brain Ship series, which starts with The Ship Who Sings, it's really kind of an interesting premise, is that there were children who were essentially, their minds were functioning perfectly well, but their bodies were either born too disabled to sustain, or that there were some genetic issues that would then cause the children to pass away later. And so this is all scientific, sci-fi, futuristic. And so because their brains were functioning normally, essentially they would be in some sort of version of kind of like the iron lung, because I think that was the era, the tail end of the iron lung and the polio stuff was when McCaffrey wrote this, I believe. Anyway, so they essentially put the brain in a spaceship. So they become the navigator and kind of captain. They control the ship. The ship is their body, and so that's why it's the Brain Ship series. So The Ship Who Sings is the first one, and obviously she has a singing talent, and that comes into play when she lands on a planet and sings opera to a cult that has established themselves there in order to free herself and her captain. It's quite fun. But then the other book I think it's The Ship Who Searched, is the one with Lackey, and the brain ship in that book has an interest in archaeology and anthropology because of what her parents did, and they're so good. Yes, the Crystal Singer series is also good. I'm trying to think. I think my favorite is out of the Crystal series, I prefer 1 and 3. Is that right? That might be wrong. It might be 1 and 2. I don't remember. I think it might be 1 and 2. But yes, very good, very good. And the fun thing is that the Crystal Singer and the Brain Ship are connected, because the ship that the Crystal Singer takes in one of the series is a brain ship. And so it's like a little cameo. It's fantastic. Love it. Love it, love it. Freedom series. I'm trying to remember if I read the last one in that one. But yes, also good. And Pern. Pern is just like, mwah, love it. Just hanging out with others gets you fired up. Yes, yes, yes. They're so good. They're so good. Yes, exactly. I did go through and I got rid of the Acorna series because that was not my favorite. And I got rid of Moretta because it's just so depressing. I prefer Narilka's because it's sort of like an addendum to Moretta's ride, and it's not as depressing. Has a happy ending. So yeah, so I think I got rid of like mainly those. And I'm trying to think, I think I kept the dinosaur planet. Yeah, I did. Yeah, those and Sassanach, really good. So many, just if you haven't read Anne McCaffrey, consider checking out some of Anne McCaffrey. They're so good. Tina says, hello after a long time. Hello, welcome. Ellie Vera says, good question. This is the rapid antigen test, and it tells you whether you have COVID now rather than previously. If you've had COVID previously, you would test positive for the presence of antibodies. That's what it was. Yeah. You think so far it's been reliable. It's part of the NHS test and trace. Yeah. Something tells me that what was available at Walmart is probably not as reliable, allegedly. Right? Don't want to get sued. You think the Brain Ship series was one of the few of hers that you haven't read. Yeah. They're really good. And what's fun is she has several co-authors over the series. So she has Mercedes Lackey for 1. She has Jody Lynn Nye for I think 2. I think she has Elizabeth Moon for 1. Or is it Elizabeth Scarborough for a couple? I think it's Elizabeth Scarborough. So there are several co-authors which will help you sort of like figure out some of the different aspects of writing. There's one though that is just like, I think it's with Jody Lynn Nye, that's just like this off the wall weird humor added to it, like frog people, and it's just real weird but real fun at the same time. But yeah, that was kind of like an oddball, like, oh, I can tell that Anne McCaffrey was not the initial instigator of this idea. So yes, Mercedes Lackey is so good. They were your gateway into fantasy. Nice. Yeah. Oh, it's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. We definitely need more science. More science, more brain. The brain ships brought about many questions about what it is to be human, and do all humans deserve equal freedom, because the brain ships were considered more machine than humans and less deserving of equality. Yeah. And that was one of the things that she wrestled, like the stories reveal that. And then with the Ship Who Searched, the one with Mercedes Lackey, essentially the brain ship invests her money in creating essentially like a secondary body that is human shaped, but it's a machine, but it looks like human. So then she could essentially like turn off, so she could like shift brain when she wanted to, brain control to the human body rather than the ship. That way she could actually go around in human form with her captain. Like, fantastic. Love it. Yes. I'm sorry. Like, y'all, I'm just like gushing over authors now, but that's okay. That's okay. There are other people in here who also gush over them, so we're fine. They do. Yeah. And actually, I found the cover artist, or the artist who did the oil and acrylic paintings for Mercedes Lackey. I found her on Instagram, and I think her handle is at Studio by the Sea. And so she does other stuff now as well, but she'll occasionally post like throwbacks and sketches and things that she's doing for cover designs, and they're just so good. So good. Yes. So many good books. So many good books. All right, y'all. I think I'm going to stop fangirling and let y'all go off to Devin's playlist, because today is Monday, right? Yes, today is Monday. So there are going to be more streams, and you should check out Devin's playlist. But also, since today is Monday, there's a chatty stream always available on Mondays on Glory Writes the Blues channel. So that's always fun. And then Laura Nettles, whose Ocean Timer we used earlier today, is going to be usually streams Monday evenings. So yeah, lots of streams to go around. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. And I will be back on Wednesday. Yes, today is Monday. I'm sorry. I'm like really doubting myself here, but it's Monday. All right. Thank you very much. And I will see y'all later. Bye.